Alright, hello guys. Welcome back. If you are joining my live today, today we are going to do mathematical literacy grade 12. So our main focus for today is going to be measurements. Okay, so measurement is part of term 2 work, so we are going to focus on term 2 work. Okay, but before we start on the bigger things regarding the measurement, I want to take you through to the smallest items of the measurement, which is all about convention. Okay, because calculate areas, volume, perimeters without understanding how to convert. Okay, so this lesson of today is just going to warm you up of what you have already done in grade 11. Okay, so that when we come to do the inner parts of measurements, you know what you're going to do now. Okay, so I want to start with 3 types of the measurement, okay, that we use in South Africa. Okay, so the other thing that I want to talk about is that in South Africa we use this system. We use the matric system. Okay, so our matric system, I will emphasize on which units they use. Okay, so the other system that we are going to talk about here, we are going to talk about the imperial system. Okay, so what I want to emphasize now, I want to emphasize on the matric system because that's the system we use in South Africa. Okay, so you must be familiar with it. All right, so we have 3 types of measurement. Okay, 3 types of measurements. Okay, so number 1, we have the distance. Okay, if you don't want to call it the distance, you can call it the length. Okay, then number 2, we have number 2 is a type of the measurement. We have the weight. Okay, all of this type of the measurement, they have their own units of measurement. Okay, in both of these systems. Okay, but our main focus now is going to be here. You must first understand the metric system before you go to the imperial system. Okay, right. Number 3, we have volume. Okay, so I will just go deep in them now to show you how we calculate which units we talk about and then how to convert in between those units. Okay, so I want to talk about the distance. I will start with number 1 here. I'll start with the distance. We'll talk about the units that we use to calculate the distance or the length. Okay, so here in South Africa, when we measure the distance, is either we are going to measure the distance in kilometer. Okay, why do I write kilograms here? We are going to use the kilometers. Why do we have to use, which distances are we supposed to use the kilometers? We use kilometers on the larger distances. For instance, you want to move from you want the distance from your Gazi to the town. You understand? So we can not use any other units within the distance, we can only use the kilometers, because the kilometers are the ones that we use to measure the larger distances. Okay, and we also bear in mind that we also have different instruments to measure. So if you want the distance from your kazi to your town, you cannot be using a ruler, you understand? But remember, the ruler also has the distance units. Okay, but you can't be using the ruler. So if you use the ruler, it means that how many rulers are you going to place in order for to cover the distance from your town, from your place to the town, you understand? So it's gonna cost you a lot. It's not even going to make sense. So mostly what they use to measure the larger distance like that, there is a certain wheel. I forgot the name of that wheel, but they use that wheel because they just drive that wheel to any place that they want. So that wheel will be able to tell them that you have traveled for maybe 10 kilometers or 20 kilometers. You understand? So it is the one that they use to measure a larger distance. Okay. Now, the other units under the distance here, we're going to talk about meters. Okay, meters is also used on the larger distances, but not extremely large distances. Okay, like for instance, if they want the measurement of the house, they want to measure the width and the length of the house, an actual house, they can use meters. If they want to measure the length and the width of a yard, they can also use meters. Okay, and then the other units of measurement that we have here, we have centimeters. So centimeters, now you will now understand that we have the ruler that we have, that is 30 centimeters. We use it on smaller measurements, you understand, on smaller distances. For instance, let's say you want to measure the length of your desk in the classroom, we can use centimeters. Okay, and we also have millimeters. Okay, so millimeters, I can give you an example that we can use the millimeters on the, maybe let's say for your ball pens, anything that is smaller that is going to require you to use the millimeters. Another example, when you're going to do the maps and plans, when you're going to do the measurements now, the maps and plans, you want to measure on the paper. You want to measure a distance from point A to point B. You cannot use kilometers on the paper. You cannot use meters on the paper. On the paper, you can only use centimeters or millimeters. Okay, so you see that centimeters and millimeters, they are used for a smaller distances. Okay, right. So there's something that I want to show you here. If you look at the distance, everything here, it has m. It has m. We talk about the kilometers, we talk about the meters, we talk about the centimeters, we talk about the millimeters. Okay, so in the distance, we have a common weight, which is meter, represented by m. So when we're going to do conversion into how to convert from one unit to the other unit, I will show you how that helps us. Okay, now let's move to number 2. Number 2, we talk about the weight. Okay, so in the weight, they are not using the kilometers, they are not using millimeters. Okay, so for example, I want to give you an example. Everything that is solid, you can think about anything. For example, I want to give you an example with butter. Butter is solid. Okay, Meaning that when they measure the data, they are going to, the butter, they are going to measure its weight. That means they must put the butter on a scale. Okay? So the units that must come out there are the grams, meaning that anything that is solid is going to be measured in kilograms, grams, and milligrams. Okay? So if you look at the weight again, there is something common here. What is our common weight here? Our common weight is grams. Okay, which is represented by letter G. Then let's move to number 3. On number 3, we are going to talk about volume. Volume. And okay, before I go to volume, I just want to talk about something. When you look at a human being can be measured twice. In a human being, we can measure the distance. We can also measure a weight. That means here in the distance, we are going to measure a height. And then here we measure the weight. And why are they important for us? They are important so that we can be able to calculate a BMI. Okay? Now, which units are now used in the volume? In the volume, we use kiloliters, we use liters, we also use milliliters. Okay. Right. Right. Now, when you look at the volume, our common weight there is liters, okay, which is represented by this L. Okay, so if you check, we have kiloliter, we have liter, and we have the milliliters. Everything here has liter. Okay, so now I'm going to take you through on how to we are going to do how to convert between weight, the distance, weight, and volume. And remember, those two cannot be mixed. You cannot convert kilometers into kilograms. Okay, you cannot convert kilometers into kiloliters. It doesn't make sense. Okay, now I just want to touch on the imperial system, since we have these units that we are going to use for these types of measurement. When you look at the imperial system, remember in South Africa we don't use the imperial system. Imperial system is used in other countries. For example, they are using it in the United States of America. All right, so in United States of America, they don't talk about kilometers, but they talk about miles. You understand? They don't talk about centimeters, they talk about inches. Okay, so when we come to the volume, they don't talk about kiloliters, they talk about the gallons. Okay, so those are not really important, but remember they can ask you how to calculate them in the exam, how to convert from miles to kilometers or kilometers to miles. It's impossible because those two, they are within the distance. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to work out with them. All right, so now I want us to start with the distance. So in convention, in the metric system, we are going to use this special table. We are going to use this special table. Let me draw you that table. I'm going to draw it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this table that I have drawn here, it has 7 blocks. Okay, so you'll realize that I have just drawn something there in the middle, which separate our 7 blocks into 3 on the left, 3 on the right. Okay, so you leave it like that. That block must be blank. So I won't even tell you what it means. I'm just going to tell you what is it that you're going to write. Because now I was taught by this teacher, and then I will never forget it for the rest of my life. So in this block, you're going to have K, H, D. Then this one, you leave it blank. This you leave it blank, okay? And then here you're gonna have H, and then you have C, and then you have M. So what I can say to you about this block is that the way you see it is general. It can be converted into distance. It can be converted into weight. It can be converted into volume. Okay, so you're just going to check how I am going to do that. So now we are going to start with the volume. Let me go and get another pen here. We are going to start with the distance. So when we go to our distance, we look at our common weight in the distance. What is our common weight in the distance? Our common weight in the distance is meter. Okay, so what we are going to do now, we're gonna go to that table and we're going to add M in all the blocks now. M. So now you will see the meaning that this one now, it is no longer favoring anything. It is only favoring the distance, because now it is complete. It is kilometer, hectometer, decameter, meter, centimeters, and millimeters. Okay, but our main focus are going to be on kilometers. This is what you are familiar with. Okay, kilometers, meters, centimeters, and millimeters. Okay, it doesn't mean that the hectometers, they don't exist. They do exist, but they are not asking about them, because those are also, we use them in South Africa, but they are mostly used in the farms. Okay, when they measure the length of a farm, they sometimes use the hectometers. You understand? So it doesn't mean that they are not existing. As I'm saying, we are not going to focus on them. Okay, now this metric table now present the distance. Okay, so now how is it going to help us? Okay, before we go to how it's going to help us, I want to tell you something. Our distances ranges from kilometers to millimeters. So my teacher said to me, now I'm telling you, she said, this table, the reason why I'm not forgetting it even today, she said, this table says, it has a meaning, but she only told me about the distance one. She didn't tell me about the one representing the weight, the one representing the volume. She said, this table says King Hendrik of Denmark suffered from diseases called marasmus. Okay, and she taught me that in grade 10. Oh, I won't forget her. And she was teaching me geography. Right. This table, it ranges from kilometers to millimeters, meaning that when you look at this, that means kilometers are bigger than this, these are bigger than this, and these are bigger than this, 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 meaning that millimeters is the smallest of them all, and the kilometers are the biggest. Okay, but when you compare meters and kilometers, meters are smaller than kilometers. Okay, but when you compare meters and centimeters, meters are bigger than centimeters. Okay, so now we are going to use this table to determine the relationship between 2 units, not 3 units, only 2 units. Let's say, for instance, now I want to know how much is 1 kilometer in meters. So what will I do? I will come to the kilometers, and then I'm going to write 1, then I write 0, 0, 0. Then that gives us that 1 kilometer is equals to 1000 meters. We move on. Now I want to know how much is 1 meter in centimeters. I come to the meters and I write 1, then I write 0 up until I reach centimeter, meaning that 1 meter is equivalent to 100 centimeters. Okay, we move on. I want to know how much is 1 centimeter in millimeters. I come back to my table and I say 1, I write 0 here, then that means 1 centimeter is equivalent to 10 millimeters. Okay, so now I'm changing. I want to know how much is 1 kilometer in centimeters. I'm gonna start writing 1 at kilometer, then write 0, 0, 0, 0 up until I reach centimeters, meaning that 1 kilometer is equals to 100,000 centimeters. Okay, now I want to know how much is 1 kilometer in millimeters. I continue with this one, then I write 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, then add another 0 here, meaning that 1 kilometer is equivalent to, I didn't write 100,000 here. This is 100,000. This 100,000 here. Why do I write 1 million? Meaning that 1 kilometer is equals to 1 million millimeters. Okay, so we can also do again, how much is 1 meter in millimeters? We write 1, 0, 0, 0, meaning that 1 meter is equivalent to 1000 millimeters. Okay, so what do we call these numbers? What do we call these numbers? These numbers, we call them relationship numbers, meaning that the relationship number between kilometer and meters is 1000. Okay, what is the relationship number between meters and centimeters? Is 100. The relationship number between centimeters and millimeters is 10. In that order. All right, now I want to show you how to convert between 1 unit and the other. Remember, when you convert from 1 unit to the other, it is only talking about 2 units, moving from this unit to this unit, not moving between 5 units at the same time. Okay, we talk about 2 units only. Okay, so the method that I'm going to use in convention here is cross multiplication. Okay, I understand that there is another method, but that other method that we have is very poisonous. Okay, because now when you go to convert between metric system and the imperial system, it is no longer the same, it changes. You understand? But if you get the cross multiplication all right, you will also survive converting from the metric system to the imperial system. Okay, so I want to show you how it works. So I want to give you an example. Let's say we have 20 kilometers. We want to convert 20 kilometers into centimeters. Okay, right. So you see now, you are going to move from kilometers to centimeters, meaning that you are converting a bigger unit into a smaller unit. And the other thing that I have to say is that, how do we see that a unit is a bigger unit? The bigger unit, we see it by the smallest number. When we come here, let's talk about these two only, and then you will see the rest. Let's talk about kilometers and meters. How do we see that meters are smaller than the kilometers here? We can see that only one number here, it is representing 1,000 numbers in meters, meaning that this big number makes this unit to be small when you compare meters and kilometers. I hope it makes sense. Okay, right. Now, because they are talking about kilometers and centimeters, we must go to our metric system here and collect the relationship between kilometers and centimeters. Okay, so according to the metric system, it says that 1 kilometer, let me change, it says 1 kilometer is equals to 100 centimeters. Okay, so we are going to rewrite it down. We're going to say 1 kilometer is equals to 100,000 centimeters. Remember, I said the method that I'm going to use here for conversion is the cross multiplication. Okay, then I do this. Now, when you look at your left, in your left you are having kilometers, in your right you are having centimeters. And then now, which number are you given and which unit are you looking for? Now, according to this, we are given the kilometers, meaning that we are given the left. And what do we want? We want the right. That means our right is unknown. Okay, so what are you going to do? You take this 20 kilometers the way it is, and then you come and write it here. You say 20 kilometers is equals to, how much is it? Is unknown. You don't know how much is 20 kilometers in centimeters. Okay, then what do? You cross multiply. You cross multiply, meaning that, and now when you cross multiply, you leave the units behind. We are going to multiply the numbers only. Okay, now we're going to start with this one. We're going to say equation mark multiply by 1. We start with the unknown. Okay, so it's going to be equation mark. It remains equation mark. Okay, that is equal to, then we're going to say 20 multiply by 100,000. Okay, that's going to be 2 million. Look, that means your question mark, it is represented by 2 million. Already now we know that this is 2 million what? Centimeters. And now we just converted 20 kilometers into centimeters. That means every time where you see someone who have traveled 20 kilometers, you must know that that person have traveled 2 million. That person have traveled 2 million centimeters. Okay, now let me show you how to go back. Okay, because now we have just converted our kilometers into centimeters. Now let's talk about converting centimeters to kilometers. Okay, meaning that we are saying we have 2 million centimeters into kilometers. Now I'm just showing you two things: how to convert from the big unit to the smaller unit, and also to convert from a small unit to the bigger unit. All right, so what do we have? We have the centimeters. What do we want? We want the kilometers. All right, now because they are talking about centimeters and kilometers, you come here again. You don't move away from this. You don't move away from your metric system. Since they are talking about centimeters and kilometers, come back to your metric system and then rewrite what your metric system is saying about kilometers and centimeters. Our metric system says 1 kilometer is equals to 100 centimeters. It doesn't change. Okay, then what do? I draw my cross. My learners call this one is Pambano. Yeah, right. Now look at what we are going to do now. Do we have the kilometers? No, as we have already analyzed here that our kilometers now, that means the left, we have the left and the right. The left is unknown. Okay, and then our right, we have 2 million centimeters. Then we just do equal to like this, and we write 2 million. That means that every time when you want to do your cross multiplication, you must have 4 units. All right, so now we introduce our cross multiplication again. So our cross multiplication, we're gonna do this. And remember, when we cross multiply, we start with our unknown. Okay, so it is going to be our question mark multiplied by 100,000. Okay, so that is going to be 100,000 question mark, which is equals to 1 multiplied by 2 million, which will remain 2 million. Okay, now look at our missing value there. We want to solve the value of the question mark, meaning that on our left we must remain with what? We must remain with the question mark, meaning that we cannot transpose in this situation. Okay, let me say we are transposing, but our transposing doesn't mean that we take 100,000 to the other side. There are two ways of transposing. It's either you take, and then when you take, it means that these two numbers, they are not attached to each other. I want to give you an example. The example that I'm going to use, we're going to say, what is 1 plus a? Our 1 plus a is always going to be 1 plus A, because you cannot mix a letter and a number. But what is 1 multiplied by A? Okay, 1 multiplied by A is equals to 1A. You understand? Meaning that between these two items there is a multiplication. And you remember we said question mark multiply by 100,000. Therefore we said that is equals to 100,000. Okay, now when we want to remove this, because these two now they are one item, so in order for us to remove this, we are going to divide by 100. Okay, meaning that this 100 is going to cancel this 100,000, so that we remain with a question mark. Then our question mark, but my question mark now is ugly. Then, since we have divided by 100 in the left hand side, we must also divide by 100,000 in the right hand side, meaning that this 0 is gonna cancel this one cancel this one. I use the old tradition method here. Okay, so we have cancelled 5 zeros, then it's going to be 20 divided by 1, then it remains 20. What does this question mark represent? This question mark represents the side of the kilometers, meaning that this is 20 kilometers, meaning that our missing value is 20 kilometers. That means that these 2 million centimeters is equivalent to 20 kilometers. Okay, right, that's all you are going to do between the metric system. It's either you're doing the volume, or you're doing the weight, or you are doing the calculations are going to be the same. But as I have promised you how to work around with the table, let me show you again, because you know I keep up my promise. So let me show you how to work with that table. And it's so smooth. We had 7 blocks, I still remember. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the middle block, which one is our middle block? 1, 2, 3. Our middle block is gonna be here. That means in this block we don't write anything. Then in here we're going to write K, H, D. We leave this block blank, and we write H, and we write C, and we write M. But then now, because we are going to talk about the weight, we go back. We want to check our common weight in the weight. Our common weight in the weight is gram, okay, which is represented by the letter G, meaning that in every block now we are going to add G, 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 G. Don't forget your middle block. Now you don't skip it. We want to write 7 G's. 7 G's. But remember, I'm going to highlight our main focus weights there. Our main focus weight is kilogram, grams, and milligrams. And you must never remove these other units that you're not going to use. They must be there in the block. They were born there, so leave them there so that they can help you to analyze. Okay, so we are going to do the same thing now. We want to know how much is 1 kilogram in grams. So we're gonna have 1, 0, 0, 0, meaning that 1 kilogram is equals to 1,000 grams. Okay, 1 kilogram is equals to 1000 grams. Then how much is 1 kilogram in milligrams? Then we continue. We add 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 up until we reach the milligrams. Meaning that 1 kilogram is equals to 1 million milligrams. Okay, so now let's check how much is 1 gram in milligrams. We're gonna have 1, 0, 0, 0, meaning that our 1 gram is equals to 1000 milligrams. So when we compare, we can say here kilograms are bigger than all our grams here, okay, and milligrams are the smallest. Therefore now we can say between the kilograms and the grams, kilograms are bigger than the grams. Between our grams and milligrams, our grams are bigger than milligrams. Okay, now we're gonna go and check how do we convert. I want us now to convert 500 grams to kilograms. Which method do we use? We use the cross multiplication, nothing else. If you know you master the cross multiplication, trust me, your things are going to run very smooth. Okay, so because they are talking about grams and kilograms, what does the metric system says about kilograms and grams? The metric system says 1 kilogram is equals to 1000 grams. We write it down. 1 kilograms is equals to 1000 grams. Then we throw our isiphambano sethu. Okay, we throw our cross there. That is our cross multiplication. Okay, then what is in our left? In our left is the kilogram, and then our right is the grams. Okay, now we check, what do we have? We have the grams, we don't have the kilograms, meaning that our question mark must go under kilograms. This is our question mark. Then our grams are 500. Then we come and we cross multiply. We cross multiply. So it's going to be question mark multiplied by 1000. Okay, so that is going to be 1000 question mark. That is equals to 1 multiplied by 500, which is equals to 500. Okay, so now because we are looking for the question mark, we come and then we divide both sides by 1000. So this 1000 is gonna cancel this 1000. Okay, so that is going to be 500 divided by 1000. So now our question mark is going to be, this 0 is going to cancel this 0. This 0 will cancel this 0. Then we are left with 5 over 10. And if you check, 5 over 10 is half. So half is equals to 0.5. And that will be your answer. But remember, your question mark is on the left. And on the left, what do we have? Kilograms. That means this is 0.5 kilograms. Meaning that 500 grams is equivalent to 0.5 kilograms. Okay, now here's another question. I want us to convert now 0.5 kilograms to grams. Okay, what is the first step? We want to know what does our metric system says about kilograms and grams. Okay, so our metric system says 1 kilograms is equals to 1000 grams. Okay, then we do our line. Then what are we given? Are we given the left or the right? We are given the left. We are not given what? The right, meaning that our right is a question mark. Okay, and how much is our left? Our left is 0.5 kilograms. Okay, then after doing that, we now cross multiply. We now cross multiply, meaning that we're gonna have question mark multiplied by 1, which is equals to question mark. That is equals to 1000 multiplied by 0.5. That is 1000 multiplied by a half. By half, that becomes 500. 500 what? What was our unknown? Our unknown was the right. Which unit do we have on the right is the grams, meaning that this is 500 grams. Okay, so on volume, because I promised to show you how to work around with the metric system table, let's go again and then do the volume. That is measurement number 3. Okay, volume. Let me change my pen again and let me make it red. So you're gonna have this one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, and then this is our metal box. We leave it open. Then now we're gonna have K, H, D, you leave this one, then H, C, M. Okay, then now we go back. What was our common letter in volume? It was liter, which will be presented by this symbol. Okay, so now we're gonna go to all of those 7 blocks and we are going to add a liter. Liter, 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 liter here, liter here. But remember, our main focus is going to be kiloliter, liter, and milliliter. Okay, so now we're gonna check how much is 1 kiloliter in liters. 1, 0, 0, 0. That means 1 kiloliter is equals to 1000 liters. Okay, how much is 1 kiloliter in milliliters? 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, meaning that 1 kiloliter is the same as 1000 milliliters. Okay, and then now the last one that we can do, we can say how much is 1 liter in milliliters. We're gonna have 1, 0, 0, 0, meaning that 1 liter is equals to 1000 milliliters. Why am I writing G here? And that one there looks like 8. Okay, now I'm not going to show you how to convert because the convention are still the same here. So I have shown you how to convert from the biggest units to the smallest unit. Okay, I want to show you some trick. They like this question to say okay, let me leave that one. Let me leave that one for measurements because it might confuse you on what I want you to know. So now we have converted we have seen three types of measurement. So we were converting between the distance, weight, and volume. Okay, so now we are going to convert time. Let me underline. We are now going to look at time. How to convert time. Now, with time now, we are not going to waste time. We are just going to go straight. There is no table in the time. There is no table. We just know. We knew these things from a younger age, okay? So, if now I just write, you will know this one. They will come. We know that 1 hour. 1 hour is equivalent to 60 minutes. And you know that 1 minute is equivalent to 60 seconds. Isn't that odd? Okay? And you know that 1 day or a day, anyhow you want to put it, it has 24 hours. Okay? And then you know that 1 week is equals to 7 days. Okay? And you know that 1 month is equals to 4 weeks. Okay, you know that 1 month again has how many days? It has 30 days. So this one, people are going to argue now to say why, because other months have 31 days, other one. Okay, so we just say 30 days. Okay, so it's going to be clarified later on. Okay, now it's only 5 months in a year that they have 5 or 4. Only 3 months that have 3 or 4, yeah, 3 or 4 months that have 31 days. Okay, now what else? We know that 1 year is equals to 365 days. Okay, and we know that 1 year again has 12 months. That's how we're going to convert our time. Okay, so we know this information. No one has to come and tell you this information. You should be knowing this information. Okay, so now let's talk now. You are given the question. They say convert 300 hours into seconds. Okay, but when you check here, you don't have the relationship between hours and seconds. Okay, so what is the best way that you're going to do and to understand this? You are going to convert your hours to minutes. That means now you're going to convert twice. You convert your hours to minutes. Then you will convert your minutes to seconds. Okay, so what is the relationship between hours and minutes? It says 1 hour is equals to 60 minutes. You do the cross multiplication again. This is your left, this is your right. Okay, so you are given the hours, which is 300 hours. Then what is the unknown? Is the minutes. Then we put the question mark here. Then we cross multiply. So it's going to be 300 multiplied by 6, meaning that, okay, we start with the question mark, multiply by 1. That becomes our question mark is equals to 300. But that was not your question. Your question wants you to convert 300 hours into seconds. Okay, so we go back again now to convert the minutes. Now we are here, we have this. We are now going to convert minutes into seconds. What is this saying about the minutes and the second? It says 1 minute is equals to 60 seconds. Okay, then we draw our cross again. Which side is given? We have the left, we need the right, meaning that we're gonna write 18,000 minutes, which is equals to a question mark. Then we cross multiply. That is going to be the question mark multiplied by 1. Okay, that is going to be a question mark, which is equals to 18,000 multiplied by 60. That means that our answer is 1 million. Is this 1 million? Yeah, 1,080,000 seconds. Remember, this is equivalent to 300 hours, meaning that 300 hours is equals to 80,000 seconds. Okay, in that order. So how do we master this? We use the cross multiplication. So the cross multiplication also works here very well. You're not going to get lost. Okay, now before we close this live, I want to touch on the last one, temperature. How to convert temperature. Okay, in the temperature we have degree Celsius. How am I writing this? In the temperature we have degree Celsius and degree Fahrenheit. Okay, so to convert temperature we have a fixed formulas. We only have 2 formulas. We have the first formula to calculate degree Celsius. Okay, it says degree Celsius is equals to degree Fahrenheit minus 32 degree, close brackets, divide by 1,8. This formula you cannot change it, meaning that you have to work with the formula so that you can calculate the missing values. So I will show you how to work out with it. And then we have this formula to calculate degree Fahrenheit, which says open bracket 1,8 multiply by degree Celsius close brackets plus 32 degrees. Okay, now here is a question. It says convert the following. What do you convert? You convert 25 degrees Celsius to degree Fahrenheit, number one. Then number two, I want you to convert me 10 degree Fahrenheit to degree Celsius. Okay, so with number one, what do? You go and take the formula to calculate what? Degree Fahrenheit. It says degree Fahrenheit is equals to 1,8 multiplied by degree Celsius plus 32 degrees. Okay, so that is equals to, you are now going to substitute your the degree Celsius with 25. Okay, so it's going to be 1,8 multiplied by 25 degrees close brackets plus 32. Okay, so that is going to be, let's see, 1,8 multiplied by 25. That is going to be 45 degrees plus 32 degrees, which is equals to 77 degrees. Okay, then that means that 25 degrees is equivalent to 77 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, now let's go to the second question. The second question says you convert 10 degree Fahrenheit to degree Celsius. So which formula do we use? We are going to use the first formula that says degree Celsius, which says degree Celsius is equals to degree Fahrenheit minus 32 degree divide by 1,8. Okay, so what are we going to do? We are going to substitute degree Fahrenheit with 10 degree. So that is going to be 10 degree minus 32 degree divided by 1,8. That means that is equals to negative 22 degree divided by 1,8. Then let's see, we divide by 1,8, and that gives us negative 12,22 degrees, meaning that 10 degree Fahrenheit is equivalent to negative 12 degrees, and that is how we convert temperature. Okay, so if you have any clarity on how to do convention, you can pull through to me on my WhatsApp numbers. Let me write my WhatsApp numbers here so that you can contact me via WhatsApp, and then you can come with your questions, and all you want shall be asked. Will be answered. Okay. The number that I'm using is a business number, so I also don't know that number. So let me just look for it. Hey, here's the number. So you can WhatsApp me here is 079 805 7101. Okay, so make sure that you subscribe to this channel, as I will be doing more live videos. Even when you are closer to writing your exams, there will be more videos coming in to teach you about any content that you want to know about. Okay, so thank you guys for watching this video so far. If you have reached this stage, thank you, and then you are going to be helped whenever you write your exams. You are going to make it. So thank you. Time.